Just a bit of clarification that Peter can perhaps give under the terms of DSP 40. The proposal is relative in scale, 7 houses. When does it become not relative in scale? 6, 5, 2? I do have a second one if I may.
Thank you, Councillor. Effectively, I think that in terms of its scale, it had to be under the provision, effectively, of our shortfall. So if it's anywhere under that shortfall of the provision, then it would deem to be acceptable under DSP 40. So it's not more than the minimum that we have to achieve to meet our 5-year supply.
So anywhere between 1 and 290. May I just and it's similar, but on point 2, Peter, you may be able to help with. The proposal sustainably located and when well related to settlement boundaries and can be integrated. It's within close proximity to the services and facilities along Bridge Road, including a regular bus service. Now, I'm looking at this relative to Sopwith Way that came up last month. It's just a little bit further up Swanwick Lane that the contrary applied to that, but it didn't. It failed that test. So I wonder what the difference is, and again, how close these facilities have to be. Because the nearest bus stop's over half a mile away, the nearest shop is over a mile away.
Again, obviously, it's a judgment call on each application. In this case, the site is immediately adjacent to the existing urban area, so the western side of the bound of the site, and even the access road itself, lies actually within the defined urban area. There's also obviously a public footpath at the bottom of the by road, which runs directly down to Bridge Road, so that provides an alternative means of access to Bridge Road rather than having to go down Swanwick Lane for pedestrians. So it's felt that because of its relative proximity to the settlement boundary and the other properties within Lower Swanwick, that it would be deemed to be sustainable. So.
Just a couple of comments, Mr. Chairman, and one or two relating back to the deputy who amongst other things, spoke about the needs in the West of Fareham versus the needs in the East of Fareham. Because what the deputy was referring to is the fact that Fareham falls within 2 housing market areas, and the housing need calculations come out for both of those, but they are then aggregated together for Fareham as a whole. And there was not an expectation that there will be a mathematical division of numbers between East and West, that there should be a balance, not all in one area or the other. And yes, I guess we can all sympathise with the observation that wherever you look, there are building sites. But that's because every single borough has housing targets, and those housing targets are generated out of a fairly consistent methodology. So hence, our needs. And of course, the 5-year housing land supply, apart from the questions now on policy DSP 40, that does tend to lead to a different set of priorities with a degree of overriding of some of the policies in the existing plan. And therefore we need to look at this application in its uniqueness in terms of the ability to provide housing numbers. And looking at the plan, there is nothing in pure planning terms. Councillor Ford's questions, I think, were very interesting ones. There's nothing in pure planning terms that would lead us to refusing this application. So I support the recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just looking back at the previous planning history of that, was actually refused. I know it was some time ago. But it was actually refused. Can you give us an idea of why that was?
Well, the previous refusals were its location in the countryside, and there was some concern over the access arrangements that were put forward at the time. I think these are both the matter obviously being in the countryside is being overcome by our DSP 40 position, and the access is being agreed by our highways officer who considers the current proposal to be acceptable.
Yes, Chairman, I think we're going to hear over and over again reference to the 5-year housing land supply, which has been conceded that we don't have level special considerations are required to be taken. One of those you've heard is DSP 40. Of that, there are 5 subheadings, and if the application comes out positively in all of those 5 headings, we are obliged to give permission. And even though it may have been before a refusable position of being in the countryside, that's one of the penalties, if you like, that we have to bear as a result of not having the housing land supply. And then on top of that, there is the so-called tilted balance, when the overall impact of that dwelling, of those dwellings, is going to have on the general area. It comes out positively in that case as well. So unless we can find fault with the arguments that give a positive result from the analysis based on those DSP 45 requirements, we are obliged to agree the application. That's the position in this case.
Chairman, if I could just pick up on the Councillor Mandry's comments. I agree with virtually all of it. The only thing is to stress to members is that even an application meets all 5 criteria, why that might weigh heavily in its favour, you're not automatically obliged to permit it. You're still entitled to consider other matters.
Councillor Cummings?
Thanks, Chairman. Actually, that's my point. As we gain strength in our 5-year land supply, we have actually some movement there, can't we? In terms of the framework, actually doesn't say actually that we have to give it consideration in our judgment as decision makers. So it's not automatically just because we've got a 5-year land deficit. The framework doesn't actually say to us as decision makers, you have to give it. We have to balance the decision on a number of fronts. So it's not an automatically saying we have to give it. That's my understanding.
I think that's correct, Chairman. You're not automatically as a committee obliged to grant permission because we haven't got a 5-year housing land supply. But to determine the trade, which I think appears in some of our reports as the tilted balance, and effectively whatever you want to call them, scales, table, whatever it is tilted in favour of granting permission. And there's sort of very good, clear reasons why you shouldn't do so.
Thank you, Chairman. I read this report with great interest, and I've listened very patiently to everybody's comments. And in my estimation, the balance, the tilted balance and DSP 40 point to the fact that I think we have to go along with the officer's recommendation, which is what I will be doing.
Peter, can you answer a question? Something Mr. Knappett, the agent or whatever, raised, and that was, can you explain exactly, I mean, I'm coming at this as a previous self-builder twice, and we've got custom build and we've got self-build. Custom build seems to apply to plots that have been serviced, provision of services. What interested me with Mr. Knappett said was that we have an architect on board and a builder on board. So can you explain, self-build for me is I went and bought plot land and I put a house on it, I did it. Can you explain the difference and why, in all but name, this is an application for 7 houses? It could be 7 houses, that's a straightforward building. I mean, I'm trying to get our register of people down. Are these plots going to be offered to the 97 people that have registered their interest in custom or self-build? That's basically where I'm coming from. And why does it have to be by one architect and one builder?
So, I mean, as you corrected, a self-build is actually where you find the plot and you do everything yourself. A custom-built plot, the difference with that is that they are as you say, they're provided as a service plot, and it's a service that is provided by a developer who then puts together a package which is then tailored to an individual. So, as I say, each individual will then work with the developer to create their individual plots as defined. I mean, also they have a set of parameters which will be defined by the condition 3, which is this design parameters document which will be provided. They then have to work within that framework to provide the house that they want. And obviously it is entirely tailored around their requirements, but subject to a few criteria. That's effectively it, other than obviously the self-builders purely where you go out by the site and do the whole thing yourself. And then even in that case, is the developer normally, the self-builder will appoint an architect to design it for them, and they will have input in that. The same applies to this case, it just has slightly less freedom of movement because of they have to meet the design criteria of the basics.
And how's it tied to our register of applicants?
Effectively also we have a register of people who are looking to sell and custom build. They will, I believe, be given first priority over the provision of these properties, so as they are on the register already.
So this register is made known to Mr. Knappett and his associates, and they draw from there.
Obviously she's the lead in policy on the provision of the sales bit, so she's acts as an intermediary between getting the self-builders known to the developers. So.
Okay. Councillor Davis.
Yes, I'm beginning to wonder why I'm here, really, because the debate is not on planning matters, it's about FYLS. I think the problem is that we've got to communicate this to the wider public. There is a housing crisis, and I was actually very concerned about a deputy who made the comment, oh, there are plenty of houses for sale. Tell a young teacher that. And a young teacher, remember, doesn't pay 20% tax, they pay 29% tax because they're teachers. And I don't think we can actually say no more building in Swanwick. Now, if it was in Fair North West, I might say no more building, but no, I wouldn't say that. I think that it's a question of balance. Now, all we can do at this planning committee is to look at the criteria on DSP 40 and make a judgment on whether all those allocation tests are actually fulfilled in this particular case. Now, it seems they are. And we do have an acute housing need, especially for young people in this borough.
Councillor Cunningham.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I agree with what Councillor Davis just said, and I think also the Deputy was saying that we need to build the right houses. And that's the problem, I think, that we are failing to do, not just this authority, but right across the country, I think. And that was difficult, but I think personally that is where the fault lies. We're not building the correct houses.
Councillor Cartwright, then we will make a decision.
Thank you, Chairman. I've obviously listened very carefully to what's gone on today. We talk about DSP 40, etc. The trouble with it is it's subjective, of course. And we end up having to make a case in that respect. And I think the head of planning made the point very carefully that it's not all about that. It's all about the tilting balance and everything else. But it's we repeat this almost on every planning application since last January. Will be carrying ahead in the future as well. So, I don't particularly like it very much. I don't think we've got very much choice.
Right, members, we have a recommendation in front of us from the proposer and the second, please. Proposed by Councillor Mandrew, seconded by Councillor Evans. Right, those in favour, please show.
That's unanimous, Chairman.